Hey everyone, it's Mona here at Craft Klatch, and today is Friday. That means it's another Coaster Friday. Today we're going to do a Scarecrow coaster. We're going to make this coaster out of resin, so we're going to use our coaster mold. For the first layer, we're going to use the fast cast just because it is fast and it's a time saver. It does cure white, but I don't want that background on the outside to be white. I'm going to use a little bit of this copper pigment powder, and I'm just going to paint it right onto the mold. And I want to make sure I go up the sides, and it doesn't have to be all the way up the sides, just a little bit up. You can tap out any excess, and now we have that. What's going to happen is the fast cast is going to attach itself to the pigment powder, and it's going to become one with the pigment powder. Now for the fun of experimenting, we're going to add a little bit of pigment powder to the fast cast, and we're going to see if it actually will color it at all. So I'm going to put it in my part B. Okay, I'm going to mix this up. Now I'm going to add the part A to it. And be sure to read the directions of any resin that you're using. In the case of the fast cast, you have very little time to do your mixing, so just be aware every resin is a little bit different. Now I'm going to pour it into the mold. And we're going to let this sit for about 15 minutes. And because it's going to go white, it'll be interesting to see if it will keep some of these colors or not, because this is not like the clear resin. This color actually turned out perfect, so I could have skipped the copper on the silicone mold step if I wanted to. So I have a couple of buttons that I'm going to add, and then I'm going to also take like an orangey rusty color and paint a nose right on here. And the nose is just going to be a triangle. And it does not have to be straight because scarecrows are often homemade kind of things, and you want it to have a little bit of personality to it. Now I'm just going to take some black, and this is just acrylic paint, and we want to give it the look of a stitched mouth. Now I want to glue on the eyes. I'm just going to use a little bit of my Super Gloss Mod Podge to do that. I'm going to put a little bit on the back. And this is just to tack it down. You can use other clear drying glue if you want as well. Now we're going to let this just completely dry so that we can come back and put another layer of resin over it. I mixed 2 ounces of resin, and now all I'm going to do is pour it on my Scarecrow, and I did 2 ounces just to make sure those buttons would be completely covered. I'll take my lighter, pop the bubbles, and I'll come back a couple more times, check on it, and then we're going to let it sit for a minimum of 12 hours. Here's our Scarecrow. We can pop him right out of the mold. Now you can see the back where we did the pigment powder, and that's all part of the resin now. So here's his front, here are the sides, and now we get to finish him off with some accessories. For the accessories, I have some brown felt, some of this rust-colored felt, raffia, and rope. And this is raffia if you don't know what raffia is. So we're going to want to make a little hat for him. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And we're going to want 2 of the same shape. Now that I have it cut, I'm going to take a little hot glue and run it along the edge here. And we'll attach that edge. And we're going to cut little pieces of raffia off. I'm going to place this on here just so we kind of have an idea how it looks. And I'm going to add a little bit of glue here and stick some of the raffia right in there. I'm going to add some over here now before I close it. All right, now I'm going to close the cap. I'm going to cut a couple of like little patches of this rust color, and they could be any shape you want them to be. And then we can trim it out with the twine. So I'm going to do the twine first, I think. Now the cap fits right on, but it's removable if you need to. And you can use it as a coaster with the cap on it or not. And here it is. The only problem I had were from the buttons. There were a couple bubbles that came out, but they look okay. They look like they're part of the button. But there's our Scarecrow coaster. And if you want to get a little fancier, you could always add a little bit of glitter at the seams. But I thought this would be fun for fall. And you can take it off, wash the coaster, put it back on. So be sure to let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. I hope you like the Scarecrow coaster, and I hope you give it a try. I will definitely see you next time. Remember, life is too short not to shimmer, so grab your glue gun and your glitter. Stay safe. Bye, guys.